Welcome to episode 46 of Hoopinions, Snakes and Ladders. My name is Harry. I'm joined by Ben. We're in the studio. My goodness, it's another week.
We're getting closer and closer and closer to playoff time. We're getting to the pointy end, and my gosh, is it just absolutely the closest thing I've ever seen in
the West.
Yeah,
in the West.
In the West. Yeah. To clarify, yeah.
In the West. Look, it's a little bit close at the bottom end in the East, but not nearly to the same amount.
No.
But it's not the same level of skill in the East. Like outside the top four, I don't really. Maybe the top five. I'll give the Knicks like a half a chance.
Yeah.
But outside of the top five, like no one else is really going to be coming out of the East.
Yeah.
But in the West, I do think that it is pretty much open market.
Yep. So currently as it stands, we almost need to do a weekly update on how close these teams are. But all the way from 4th with Phoenix down to 12th with the Pelicans is separated by literally 4 games. And if you go to 6 games, that includes all the way down to 13th.
Well, OKC won one game today,
yep.
And Pelicans, which are just the most embarrassing, most disappointing team in the whole NBA.
Yeah,
lost their game today by a huge margin. But the loss of margin doesn't matter. But those two teams, that happened today, and OKC jumped from 11th all the way up to 8th.
In one game.
And
the Pelicans dropped out of the playing contention from 10th down to 12th.
Were they 10th or 9th?
I believe they were 10th because I think the Lakers just above them.
Okay, okay. So yeah, they dropped out, which the Lakers beat them today. My God, the Lakers looked. I watched I was hoping it would be a close game, so I watched a little bit of it, and it wasn't close, so I turned it off. But
yep.
Lakers, at least against the Pelicans, were on fire. AD was looking like proper AD, not the AD that sucks.
Yeah, I've been playing well offensively. Yeah. The Lakers set a new franchise record for three-pointer shot and a half.
15.
With 15. So they were absolutely firing on all cylinders.
Pew, 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 pew.
Shooting the lights out. They started the game with a 14-0 run, which was got D'Lo and LeBron hype. But yeah, this is I think it's just been since that trade, moving Westbrook. No shade to him, who's been on the Clippers and doing fine. But they just seem a revamped team.
It's a different team.
Yeah. Which is scary because we have a bet writing that they don't make it past the first round.
I have a bet. You're safe. I'm not.
I'm living vicariously through you, so I don't want them to go that far either. But honestly, they're props to them. They're seeming to work better. We'll have to see though because they're still not out of the woods. Play-in bracket is still absolutely up in the air.
Nothing is guaranteed at the moment.
No,
but there's so much going on, and even Phoenix don't look safe right now. Phoenix dropped a game today, and now they're only a game ahead of Golden State and LA, which without KD is not looking. Look, we always said that they're just going to be holding on. Yep,
pretty much just hold on until KD can get back. But yeah, even Phoenix sitting in 4th currently. They're only a couple games ahead of just even the play-ins, so
which is pretty wild.
Yeah, look, freak injury to Durant. That's unlucky because other than that, I think they would have been
balling. Yeah, they'd be fighting. Honestly, like they could be fighting for 3rd or 2nd.
Yeah, but at the moment, it's a matter of just keep things together until he returns.
Well, they're 5-5 from their last 10, which is
could be worse.
Could be worse. And look, I don't. Imagine if they don't. But look. Here's the thing. Outside of facing top teams, they should run over all the other lesser teams.
Yep.
Even without KD, they still have a very solid squad. They've still got They've still got CP3. They've still got Devin Booker. They've still got DeAndre Ayton. Yeah. They've all got. It's a good team. They've still got enough depth to make by.
But it's going to be those matchups. They literally played Golden State this week and lost. And Clay was on fire. Curry played well too. But it's going to be those matchups against teams around their seeding that's going to determine.
Curry was smack talking. He went to CP3 and was like, "It's not 2014 anymore." Hot damn.
Oh yeah, calling him out. But these are the guys that have had rivalries going for multiple playoff series for multiple years. So.
Devin Booker is a well-known smack talker.
Yeah.
So even when they lose, you know that teams are going to be like, F you.
Yeah.
Especially Golden State. Especially Golden State. Talking about people that are losing, we feel like Phoenix should have beaten Golden State that day, and they didn't. But the Denver Nuggets also lost to Toronto.
Yeah.
And it still doesn't matter because Toronto still suck. But
you were calling them out last episode. I was trying to defend them. And I mean, look, to be fair, they're only just barely sitting in the play-in picture in the East.
They're still ninth. This win, they're still nobodies.
But assuming they're nobodies, that's what makes this even more interesting, this loss. Because they were really focusing their offense on Jokic, who MVP frontrunner at this point. And I still back him as MVP as well. But defensively, they kind of exploited him a little bit, which is a bit of a surprise.
He is a little bit lazy on defense. Not lazy, but I think calculated inefficiency.
Yeah, I think he's definitely, his forte is obviously offense, right? So he's putting in all the effort there.
Forte is
defensively, offense. I think it's not his strength. He's more of just to hang in there and do the bare minimum that he needs to. But
it's the same for most of your high offensive players.
Yeah.
It's very rare for you to get a high offense and a high defense player. They just have not got enough petrol in the tank.
Yeah.
Gas for you Americans. You can't do both ends of the floor at a high level for long before you burn out.
Yeah, that's fair. You definitely need to recoup some of your stamina at some point on the court, and that's what happens there. But I have a big question, because this is jumping ahead already to hypothetical playoffs, but the Nuggets, their big problem in recent playoff history, even with a strong team, has been injuries. They've been missing Murray, they've been missing Porter, they've been missing all these guys. But it seems like touch wood, they've got a pretty healthy lineup coming up to this playoffs. The question will be now, at their full strength and sitting first in the West, will they actually fulfill this expected multiple round deep playoff run, or are they going to suffer an early knockout? Because if Jokic can be exploited like that, when you have a 7-game series, a team can really lock in.
But I feel like everyone can be exploited.
Yeah,
that's playoffs.
Yeah.
It's, Giannis got a wall. CP3 got sagged off. Like, there's always one person you can exploit. It's whether you as a team can get past that exploitation.
And then adjust defensively as well, yeah.
And adjust. I feel like if Denver don't make a deep playoff run this year, they don't have an excuse as to why they didn't.
Agreed, yep.
And I think there'll be a lot of pressure as to why they did not get the results that they're expecting to get. But in theory, I'm expecting a deep run. Jokic is really, really hard to stop.
Yeah, on the offensive end, there's not much you can do. And look very scary. And
they've got enough pieces around. Like, I've always thought that Aaron Gordon was a good enough defender. Michael Porter Jr. was a good enough defender. And I feel, with some smart film study, I think they could lower Jokic's inefficiencies. But it's hard. He's a big guy. He's not the most, it's one of those weird things where, he is nimble, but he's not nimble at the same time.
I wouldn't think of him as athletic, really. He's smart with the way he plays, but, not exactly the most agile guy.
But it's look at Embiid. Is Embiid the most nimble person?
No, he's not either, but he's good with his footwork, and, he just knows how to use the size.
Jokic is good with his footwork.
Yeah,
on offense.
I think they both are, yeah.
Well, actually, I found a really fun stat today. Jokic is very good with his footwork. He is leading the league in the most kickballs. Which, remind me, because this doesn't happen a lot, is a kickball a foul, or is it just an...
It doesn't come up as a foul.
It's considered just a stoppage of play.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not as an accidental, but it's like kickball.
It's as if the ball went out, kind of.
Yeah. So, Jokic has got 45 kickball violations, which is the most in the league, and second is 17. So, Jokic... Wow. Think about it, though. If someone's passing or dribbling and he's kicking the ball... Let's just say, 48 calls is potentially, if you times that by 2, so you've got 90?
Yeah, 90 odd, yeah.
Potentially 90 odd points that he's stopped by kicking the ball.
It's such a niche stat, but it is actually interesting. The thing that sticks out to me is he's got 3 times, or almost 3 times more than the second place. How does this keep happening? He's got a high usage. They're running a lot of things through him, but...
Well, it doesn't specify. I'm assuming that with kickball violations, he's kicking them on defense.
It could be offense or defense, really.
Yes, it could be both.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that he can't get his hand on the ball, so he's kicking it.
Perhaps.
He's European.
Yeah.
So he should be, compared to Americans, he is much more soccer inclined.
Perhaps. Honestly, if anyone was leading the league, I thought it'd be Embiid because he actually came from a soccer background. So I thought it'd be him. But yeah, that's an interesting stat.
I need to watch a couple more games and see if I can see, like, with 45 games, he's almost averaging at least one a game.
Yeah, I mean, occasionally you'll deliberately kick the ball just to intercept something and just take the turnover. But I don't know. Maybe it's something that he's just not getting his feet in the right spot. It's
Is that a basketball play? If you then the question is, like, so if you can't get a hand on the ball but you can get a foot on the ball, it still essentially stops the play.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if it's like really egregious, you could probably be assessed a tech for it, but I'm not sure. I think it's.
But is it illegal? Is it illegal?
Technically in the rules, I guess.
Is there anything prohibiting you from intentionally? As long as you don't kick the other player.
Yeah.
As long as you kick just the ball.
And you don't punt it into the stadium, into the fans.
Yeah.
Into
is
the
there
crowd,
anything stopping you from doing that?
I think it's fine. I mean, hell, I do it sometimes. If I can't get a hand on the ball, I'll just put my foot out. So if it stops, an easy bucket for the other team. So yeah.
Which. Is that defense?
It's just a strategy.
Yeah.
Just thinking outside the box.
He's got 45 of them.
Yeah. Leads the league. It should be a track stat for his MVP case. In all counting stats, he's ahead.
But yeah, so I think Jokic is one of those, but like, it's one of those hard things because, yes, his defense isn't as good as what you'd want potentially, but all of your high-scoring people never have good defense.
Yeah, I think to counter my own argument, I think his offense well and truly makes up for his defense, and it's good enough. It's possible. But it was just interesting to see a team like Toronto, even though Toronto aren't the best team in the East, they have good coaching, and I think that's kind of
maybe where it's coming from as well. As we always say, probably top 2 best coaches.
Yeah, we are a little bit on the Nick Nurse hype train, so yeah.
He's really good.
He's got a chip to show for it, so yeah.
I'll say number 1 because Golden State aren't looking that flash at the moment, with. They're very inconsistent, and there's only there's only so much Steve Kerr can do with the talent he has.
Yeah, I can't unsee just really stone-faced Steve Kerr on the bench against the Grizzlies.
So funny, because I think especially because of how much smack they have talked to the Grizzlies in the past, and they were getting some humble pie, and they're like, "Oh gosh, we've said so many things to these guys, and now they're beating us like by a bit." It was just like,
it's got to feel bad.
Oh man,
juicy.
Very, very exciting. So I while we're talking about the West, I want to bring up Ja Morant. Still getting a lot of playtime on the news.
Yep.
It's quiet at the moment. Like it's one of those. It's exciting but strange at the same time because there's not a lot of newsworthy things happening.
Yeah.
But at the same time, everything's like so close and people are jumping up and down the ladder like crazy. But there's not a lot of like talking points.
Yeah.
So Ja's still getting a lot of attention, which at this stage I think that like we've got our like I guess we're talking about it, so I can't really talk. But I think the final update now is that he's in Florida getting counseling.
Yeah. Which is positive step. So
which we were talking about this at lunch. So there's a couple of things here. There have been rumors that there has been, and I want to say substance abuse, specifically alcohol. Rumors that Ja's been very heavy on the alcohol.
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly. Yeah, sorry. Allegedly, there's been a lot of potential issues with substance, and the fact that he's getting counseling might bring a little bit of truth to that. But just the lifestyle in general, I think, as well. But I think it's what is really important for me as a person, as a human being, is that I'm glad that the Grizzlies are putting Ja's well-being over the team.
Yeah.
It's not a great time for him to be missing.
Not ideal.
It's not ideal. And I told you this. I thought that when he got suspended for his 2 games, it was just going to be a token 2-game suspension. He'd be back.
Yeah.
And they'd just sweep it under the rug. So the fact that they've sort of indefinitely put him on hold to give him a chance to work on himself and to really, and for me, it sort of puts a little bit more true, like confirms a little bit that potentially behind the scenes things with Ja weren't as smooth as what we were seeing.
Yeah.
Obviously, like a couple of things have leaked out, but maybe this was the opportunity for Grizzlies to go like, hey, bro, you need to straighten up.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's good to definitely give him the time. I'm just wondering if it's them deciding to give him the time or if he's being forced to take this time. I think it could be a bit of both.
Could be a bit of both.
But either way, at least he's not being like forced back on the court if he has got stuff to work through.
He could be like, hey, I need this time. It could be a mixture of him being forced, the Grizzlies making it happen, or Ja asking for an opportunity to better himself.
That's true.
We may never know, and I don't think we need to know at the end of the day. It's not really our place, but I respect that the Grizzlies aren't rushing him back.
Yeah. Main thing is, the end of the day, we want him back on the court and in the right place.
And look, for him especially, like, he's got, I think if this is the wake-up call that gets him on a better path, he's, probably worth $500 million by the end of his career.
Yeah.
Potential earnings.
It's definitely not too late for him to do the right thing and to turn things around.
If he can get things on a better path for now, like if for his it'd be better for him to long term to fix this than to have these issues keep arising.
Yeah.
The other thing to take in mind is that there's still about 2 to 3 weeks ish left before playoffs. If the Grizzlies are pretty comfortably not comfortably in second, but I'd say they're comfortable top 3 at the moment.
Yeah, it's just really them and the Kings kind of trading places at this point.
So as long as nothing like horrendous happens to them, they've gone 6-4 in the last 10. They can pretty much hold. Ja still has time to do like a 2-week intensive counseling course and still make it back for playoffs.
Yeah,
which at this stage, I think that's potentially what you do. It's like, hey, take the time now, get your head straight so that we can have 110% switched on Ja, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And again, I hope it's not a pressure thing, but
they
got
do
time.
Kind of need him back for playoffs, though. So
we'd hope.
Yeah.
But they've got time to try and sort things out before playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
Rockets beat the Celtics.
Oh my gosh. I love little surprise upsets. Specifically the Celtics. I don't know what it is with them losing to like tanking teams, because Orlando, I'm pretty sure, went 3-0 in their 3 games so far this season. Now they've lost to the Rockets. It's kind of like a Nuggets Raptors situation where we've got underdogs showing them up.
Look, I watched a little bit of the game and I read a bit of the comments. Rockets are trying really hard to lose. Honest to God, the Rockets were trying really hard to lose. Like, there was some really silly fouls on the 3-point line and turnovers, and the Boston Celtics were still like, "No, we don't want to win."
Oh, the Rockets are just like, "Oh, yay, we won. Oh, great. Oh, no, our odds for Wembanyama."
What is this? We've got to... They're racing San Antonio to the bottom, so it was really, really funny because they really tried.
But, yeah, the Celtics are like, no, you can take this dub.
Rockets have beaten like the 76ers. The Rockets have beaten a couple of big teams.
It's like along their tanking spree, they're deciding to like only beat the top teams. I don't know what.
There's been a couple like they've beaten Phoenix, Milwaukee, Philadelphia.
I think they beat Phoenix again.
Boston.
So they're kind of picking their, and you know what? Maybe it's just a chance to like, all right, here's a tough team. Now actually go prove yourselves, youngsters. But
it's also that, or I think also like these top teams don't take the Rockets seriously, and then
you know what? That's probably more
and then
the case.
The Rockets
actually
can still they're a young team. They can still get hot and just start shooting the lights out.
Yeah, they have had some games where they've been absolutely shooting crazy from deep. But yeah, I mean, part of it's probably the bigger teams wanting to maybe ration their minutes a little more carefully with their top players against some of the tanking teams, so they might get a slightly easier matchup.
It's just funny because Boston, Houston definitely tried to give it to them, and Boston was just like, no, we don't want that win. We're good. We want to try and let Philadelphia overtake us.
And at this stage, it's going to be interesting because Boston losing little games like this, we've only got about 12, 13, 14 games left, depending on the team.
Not long.
And so the Bucks are in first in the East. They're the first team to actually secure a playoff spot.
It's official.
Officially, they have clinched it. But the Celtics they're trailing behind by 3 games. There's a bit of a buffer. I don't think they're quite going to get that first seed. I think the Bucks have got that in the bag.
No.
Which is interesting because early in the season, I think I was pretty much convinced the Celtics were finishing first in the East.
Oh, the beginning of the season, the Celtics looked unstoppable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now they look slightly more
stoppable.
Yeah. And now the Celtics only have a 1-game advantage over Philly, so they're essentially.
So honestly, even Philly could make a push for that 2 seed, which, as we know, top 2 first and second seeds will be facing a team that's just come out of the play-ins.
Yes. So, and if we're going between, if we go off the current the current top 8, right? Boston would get Miami, as opposed to Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
And if you're in second, which I would rather, I don't know about you, I would rather take on the Miami Heat.
Oh, it's tough because the Nets, after those moves, they're just inconsistent. They're having some good games.
What do you mean? How's it even a question? How many 40-point games has anyone from the Heat had recently?
Yeah, but I don't know. You always sleep on the Heat. And they've had good playoff records recently. They've still got Eric Spoelstra coaching them.
They're bubble confidence only.
I mean, look, yeah, it was a bit of a surprise run there. But I don't know. I wouldn't underestimate the Heat in the playoffs, personally.
No. It's not even underestimating. They're not going to make it out the first round. Let's put something on it. Come on.
Wait, are you saying that the Nets will?
I'm not saying the Nets will. I'm just saying that I would rather verse the Heat than the Nets in the first round. Okay. I think whoever versus the Heat have a better chance of winning than the Nets.
I'd take the Nets, but I don't think there's a huge difference in those teams. For example, between the Knicks and the Heat or the Nets, I would not want to face the Knicks. I think they're looking a lot stronger.
Yes, but comparatively, from what I've seen this season and this last couple of weeks, I am more afraid of Mikal Bridges than I am of Jimmy Butler.
You know what? That is a good point, because Jimmy hasn't been Jimmy Buckets this season. The Heat have kind of just been an all-round decent team, whereas the Nets do have a couple guys that can go off.
The Nets have shown, for me, at the recently better coaching. Like, the way they're I don't want to say scrambling, but the way they're adjusting their lineups based off who's playing well.
I do like that, yeah.
The Nets have the depth, the amount of people that can go off, that if someone's not playing well, the coach is just like, cool, come off. Let's put him on.
That is true, because they did have a game where they pretty much gave 10 minutes to their starters and let the bench go crazy. So
yeah, the way that he's coaching the team, because they've got all this talent, and it's just, if you're not hitting, and if someone else is, they're just going to stay on. Like, the way he's coaching them in the Nets, I don't know who the coach is. I forgot his name. It's a new...
tip of my tongue. It's going to escape me now. I'm trying to think about it.
It's Thingy-mabob. It's Thingy-mabob.
Jackie Vaughn, is it?
Maybe, yeah. Does it show up on the depth chart?
It should be on the roster.
Is it on the roster? Yeah, Jackie Vaughn.
Yes, got it right. There we go.
Well done. But the way that Jackie Vaughn is coaching them at the moment, I think is really exciting, and it's a sort of a different approach. Like, he's using his whole squad to really get the best out of the Nets, whereas it's a different sort of coaching to what I would say Steve Kerr and Nick Nurse are. They're all about, like, the X's and O's and the plays and the strategy, the overall strategy, whereas Vaughn's just like, hey, you're going well, I'm going to keep you on.
Yeah, he's very in touch with how his players are going throughout the game, and can adjust. So, yeah, I'll give you that.
I am more scared of the Claxdaddy and and Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson than I am of people on the Miami Heat.
Yeah, I think that's a fair call.
If I was Boston or Philly, I would be aiming for second at this stage.
Yep, I think it's understandable. With a similar situation, just back to the West, between the Grizzlies and the Kings, we mentioned that they're kind of trading places at the moment.
Yes.
Their potential matchups, as it stands right now, but it's kind of hard to tell because the games are moving people up and down like 3 positions. Currently, they'd be up against either the Timberwolves or the Clippers between second and third. I think the Clippers are likely to probably stay in around about 6th. So really, it's kind of that 7th spot that's going to be the toughest, or like the hardest to call.
Yeah.
So the Grizzlies and Kings, both young teams, both not particularly experienced in the playoffs. I think it's actually going to be crucial to kind of get that second spot, get one of the teams that had to play in games, whether that be Timberwolves, Thunder, Mavs, Lakers. It could be anything really, because if you get pushed down to third, you're playing the Clippers, who honestly I think it's kind of hard to say, but I think that they have a lot more potential than they are in 6th. They've got Kawhi, they've got PG. I think even a couple of their smaller moves recently with trades, I think they're looking quite scary, to be honest.
Yeah, Look, Kawhi and Paul George have had a lot of injury problems, and they both seem to be healthy at the moment. So there's a lot of potential.
I mean, they did go 5-5 in the last 10, but they are on a 3-win streak. So
they've only had Russ for like 10 games.
Yeah, so there's still that adjustment period, and we did mention as well that they went, I think, like 2-7 or something in their first 10 games with Russ or whatever, or first 9 games. So they're only just starting to build momentum, but that's why I'm thinking they're scary. Is that they've had a bit of time to adjust now. Plus, they've got these very experienced playoff members on their team.
On paper, Memphis have an easier schedule remaining than Sacramento.
Yeah, because Memphis has one of the, I think, second easiest remaining schedule
on paper. Yeah. But Sacramento is 17th at the moment, so they are in the top, just on the
easy
half
mark.
So I think as for these topper teams, especially like you mentioned, Memphis Grizzlies and Kings, where they haven't got as much experience, that you'd probably want to be trying to get that second seed so that you can get someone. And it's like, I don't want to be like there's a line, but 7th to 13th are definitely lesser at the moment than say a Suns or a Golden State Warriors or a Clip. Like, the problem with Golden State is they're not playing well, but they've still got Steph freaking Curry.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, you can't underestimate Steph in the playoffs. So
and Kawhi Leonard has got a record of showing up in playoffs. Not every single playoff, but he's shown up in playoffs.
He's had some big games.
So at the moment, I'd much rather face off the Minnesota Timberwolves without Cat than have to verse the Clippers and Kawhi.
True. I got a quick, interesting question for you. Since there's still a little bit of time left in the season, there's still anything can happen with those spots.
Can happen.
Let's go from 7th down to 13th. So Timberwolves, Thunder, Mavericks, Lakers, Jazz, Pelicans, and Blazers. Of those 7 teams, which 4 are making the play-ins? Call it right now.
Jeez, you've put that on me without any heads up.
We said how close it is, but I think it'd be interesting to make a prediction and see how close we are.
So I think that Portland will continue to suck.
I think they're a little too far down, probably, yeah.
Portland have the 8th toughest schedule coming up. So I think Portland will finish at the bottom. I have no confidence in the New Orleans Pelicans anymore.
Oh, man, it's tough.
The ship has sailed. I give up.
With Zion, honestly, they're like a lock for play-ins. They just play so differently without him.
It's today they shot like how many 3? It was like they made it.
I think they shot under 20%.
Yeah,
like roundabout. Yeah,
and it's like they I watched the start of the game, as I mentioned, and it's like the Lakers, it's like 10-0 and they're still shooting threes. It's like, my goodness, put someone in the paint and get an easy 2 points.
Just get Valanciunas posted up against AD or something.
Do something.
Yeah. They just committed. They kept shooting and weren't hitting. So.
Kept shooting and they sucked.
Yeah. So I think we'll rule them out.
Okay, so for me, I would like the Minnesota Timberwolves to make it.
Yeah,
I'm not. How about this? I'm not going to give you like a 7, 8, 9, 10th, but I'm going to give you.
Don't give me the rankings. Just 4 teams of those 7 that'll make it to play-ins.
I would like the Minnesota Timberwolves to make it.
Yeah, I also think they're going to make it.
I think that with Conley, they're playing a lot better. Gobert's giving a lot more, and it's. I want to defend. Can I defend Gobert here for a moment? We are a big fan of Gobert. I was watching a Timberwolves game the other day. And yes, while people can blow by him, it's one of those, he is exploitable, but he's also a really big defensive asset. I watched a game where he was pretty much sitting under the rim and this team drove in 4 times and saw him underneath the rim and was like, nope, and popped it out. Drove back, got a blow by, saw Gobert and was like, nope, and popped it out. So it's like, if you can get him matched up to you, there's blow-by potential, and that's what teams with switching have abused in the past. But if you can keep him down low and not go, but if you keep him down low, he is a humongous obstacle that people do not want to deal with when driving to the rim.
Definitely a big asset defensively. A player you 100% want on your team, it's just a matter of, in the playoffs, making sure that you can cover for any game plans to exploit him.
I think it's about what's that word? Optimization.
Yeah.
If you can optimize Gobert the right way, and Conley, on offense especially is helping optimize Gobert.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's just locking down that defense because it's always talked about how like you can't play him in playoffs, and I think you can, but you got to do it in the right way, and you got to get him in the right situation. You got to put him in a situation on defense where he can succeed.
Yeah, I think honestly with Cat back and having that flexibility to maybe
is he back?
to swap like when he is back, if he is back, that's the big question mark because I don't think he is not looking good at the moment. But with him back, I can see them looking really strong. But yeah, I think there's going to be a couple of question marks with him out still.
There is an update. He has been recently resumed taking part in one-on-one drills, but isn't yet cleared for full team activities.
Which at least is promising. So
that's
perhaps
better than nothing.
Yeah, might be close to playoffs, but I guess we'll see. But yeah, I would also agree that the Timberwolves will make plans.
Yeah, I want the Timberwolves to make it.
Yep.
I would like Dallas to make it as well.
Yeah, I think they'll make enough of a push at the end.
Completely dependent on Luka and Kyrie.
Yeah.
Kyrie is... the rumor going around is that a family member passed away, which is why he's been away. So I think it's important. It's not Kyrie acting up. I think if...
Yeah, that's understandable.
For a proper family matter, I think it's completely... there's more to life than basketball.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can handle that situation and get back soon because Dallas do need him. But at the same time, you've got to be, I think, respectful.
Yeah.
So Kyrie's out due to personal reasons, but this one actually says now foot is questionable, so we'll have to see. Might be a combination of both. Not sure.
Yeah.
Luka is out with a thigh issue, which is he was trying to play through that the other day, and I don't know why he was trying to play. Christian Wood day to day as well. Tim Hardaway Jr. All of the important people on.
I was about to say it's all
Dallas
the bigger
are not
players,
looking good.
Yeah, but
so if they can hold on,
I think they can hold on. Yeah,
if they can hold on, I would like to see Dallas make it. I really would like to see what Kyrie and Luka can do in playoffs.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of clutchness with those two guys.
I can already picture some crazy buzzer beaters between the two of them. So.
Yeah. So I want that. I think at this stage, fortunately, but unfortunately, that the Lakers will make it at the rate that they're going.
Which is pretty crazy because. Yeah, not long ago I would not have expected that. I would not have expected that at all.
But they've sort of made a last minute attempt at fixing things up. We were curious. I'm just looking at the injuries. Oh, Anthony Davis is out against the Rockets the next game. Well, they are playing a back-to-back. So they had a back-to-back. They've just played the Pelicans today, and then tomorrow they're playing the Rockets. So they're probably just going to rest him against that. It's probably an injury, but it just says that he's managing an active foot injury, which honestly, that is concerning for me. If there's anything niggling going on,
I'm not
AD
surprised.
is a glass cannon.
Yeah, I'm not surprised he's constantly kind of managing some injury or another. So, yeah.
For me, that's concerning, but we'll have to see. I think at the rate that they're going, LA will make it, but we'll have to see. LeBron is out, but was able to do some weightlifting and shooting during Tuesday's shoot around. That doesn't fill me with great, he took some shots and he did some weights. Yeah, that's good, but that's not close to being up to pace yet.
Yeah, it's hard because I'd hate to be so cynical, but I'm wondering if they're literally just resting him for playoffs. But look, the foot injury didn't look great, so it could, genuinely be.
But there's it's either they're keeping it very close because it doesn't look like he's playing because he's only doing weightlifting and shooting.
Yeah.
So he's not doing drills. He's not doing
scrimmages or anything.
Yeah,
like that,
so I have to see. And Mo Bamba's out, which I don't think if did he ever really play before he? Did he do anything before?
I'm going to be honest, I don't recall him playing.
So I think LA will make it. The fourth person, however,
this is juicy.
That's the real...
Because that's down to OKC or Utah.
Yeah, it's a real wild card. Look, in theory, the Pelicans could go for a run as well. It's one of those... I'm going to be honest with you. It could go either way. New Orleans have a fairly light schedule. The same with OKC. Where's the Jazz? I think the Jazz have the hardest remaining schedule on paper.
Because honestly, a little bit of bias, but I kind of backed the Jazz to maybe squeeze into that last play-in spot. But when I looked at their schedule, I'm like, no, I don't think it's too tough of a finish to the season.
It really is dependent, though, on how often the Pelicans and the Thunder win.
Yeah.
Or lose.
That's true.
Let's see. If I had to pick between Markkanen, SGA, or BI, I'm not very high on BI at the moment, so we'll flick him to the side. It comes down to SGA and Markkanen.
I think I'm backing Thunder on this one. I think SGA can chuck up enough 30 bombs to hang in there for the rest of the season. I
think with the easier schedule, and they're not tanking actively this year, or if they were, they're not doing a very good job. So, and they've got some good players like Alexander. What's his name? Not Alexander. Josh Giddey's playing well. So yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna pick OKC as well to make it. Who knows? We might have just jinxed Dallas and they might drop out and Utah might be in there instead.
That's the opinions curse. Now that we've called this, it's going to be the exact opposite. But
so we'll have to see. But yeah, I think that's my top. I think. Do you have anything different to that?
Honestly, I mostly agree with that. It's tough because honestly, I did not see the Thunder making it, but they are currently in 8th. We know that the positions can move really, really quickly. I think the Pelicans have the strongest team out of those last 3, to be quite honest.
Yes.
But they're not playing well. So I can maybe see the Thunder just hanging in there. So yeah, Timberwolves, Thunder, Mavericks, and Lakers making the play-ins. Which I think, I did not see coming at the beginning of the season, to be quite honest. So, yeah.
They try. Oh, yeah, there's no word on Zion. Let's have a quick look at the Pelicans.
I was going to say, speaking of injuries, because we've been mentioning a few, I think the closer we get to playoffs, the more crucial this is getting, and we've got a lot of players whose return is like looking close, but we don't know if they're quite going to make it.
So let's just finish off the Pelicans. I don't think they're going to make it. Look at this. They've got Zion will be sidelined for at least 2 more weeks. That's it. He's done for the season.
Yeah.
If he's not coming, if they didn't get anything out of that hamstring strain, he's got sidelined again. That's it. Zion is incredibly slow at recovering from injuries. And Alvarado will be reevaluated in 3 weeks after being diagnosed with a stress reaction in his right tibia, which is huge for them. He's the hustle guy.
Yeah, he's the heart of that team. So
he's the hustle guy. So yeah, injuries is going to be. It's going to be the survival of the fittest. Whoever can make it to the end of the season with the least injuries.
Yeah.
So Celtics have been dealing with a couple.
Danilo Gallinari.
Yep. Gallinari. Has been out. Robert Williams III has been out.
So I think that's been the biggest missing player for them.
Thingy-mabob. Al Horford has just come back from injury, but he's been out for a little while. So the Celtics have started off very strong and have struggled a bit with the injuries recently, which is a little bit an explanation as to why they haven't been playing the best.
Yeah, but I think
they've got Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They really have no excuse.
Yeah, I think they've got most of their core, which is the main thing. But I think Time Lord Robert Williams is a big piece for them, especially come playoffs. So I think it'd be good if they do get him back, but at this stage, not sure.
Brooklyn have Ben Simmons out, which maybe is a better for the team that he's not playing.
Yeah, perhaps. Be quite honest.
Chicago has the Javonte Green and Lonzo.
Yeah, they got some big injuries, but they're at this stage pretty much out of contention.
Out of contention, yeah. I don't think they're going anywhere. We've got Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen on day-to-day, which,
you'd assume they'd be back.
You have to take day-to-day as just it's day-to-day, and at least it's not anything serious. Hopefully it's just a niggling things and not at least not serious enough to have them out.
It's pretty crazy, though, that the Cavs, other than little day-to-day things, they're looking really healthy.
Which is good. Really healthy, I like that. I want that to stay that way.
Yep.
Dallas, we've already mentioned, looking rough with Hardaway, Christian Wood, Luka, and Kyrie out.
Yeah.
But it's a mixture of day-to-day stuff, so we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Denver, I don't know who these 2 people are. Are these people important?
I mean, Zeke, he's an okay big, and then the other guy, Gillespie, I don't even know. But yeah, they're pretty much healthy other than some of their bench players.
Yeah,
so
not important.
Looking good.
Detroit, which they're not. Look, let's skip Detroit. They're not in contention.
But they are plagued with injuries, so which is a bit of a shame for them.
Yep. Golden State, we've got Igloo, Andre
Iguodala out. Yeah.
Igloo is out. Kuminga is his ankle has been upgraded to probable, which is better than completely out, but still might be another week or 2 depending on how badly he rolled his ankle.
Yeah.
Peyton II is out. He's making good progress. Has started on-court activities. That's huge. He's expected to ramp up his on-court workouts the next couple of days. That's huge for them.
Yeah.
Wiggins' personal is still out, and
it's a big piece though, and hopefully whatever's going on there, he'll be back. So.
Yeah, I personally think that I'm gonna allegedly make an alleged guess. I think that there's something personal, like a family member's ill or something like that. That's an ongoing issue,
which is fair enough to take time for that. So
so. Thoughts and prayers for Andrew, and life is bigger than basketball.
Yeah.
But and honestly, the other thing is respect to the Golden State Warriors organization, because nothing is leaked.
Yeah,
absolutely
that's true.
Zero information has leaked.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big for in the age of where things leak all the time and then there's no privacy. I think there's a huge respect to Golden State for keeping
when it's personal matters, that's 100% to keep it to themselves, so that's fair.
And everyone keeps asking, and even Curry's just like, look, he comes back when he comes back. So big respect. Houston, Indiana. Where are the Indiana Pacers? Do we care
Pacers?
About
I think are out of contention.
We don't care
point,
about them. Clippers have Norman Powell and Shoulder. So Shoulder has been going through skeleton work and one-on-one work before practices and games over the last few days, but he hasn't got a timeline. So I'd say he's a fairly important rotational piece.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Brandon Boston?
Decent guide, but
nothing
kind
important.
of role player, yeah.
So AD, LeBron, Mo Bamba.
On the Lakers, we covered that.
Everything hinges on this LA team on LeBron and AD being healthy, honestly.
100%.
They're going to struggle without LeBron, but if AD goes down, that's it. GG, have a nice offseason. Memphis Grizzlies have a fairly large amount of... This is a little bit concerning. Brandon Clark, obviously, a season-ending left Achilles tear.
That, honestly, just quickly, I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Because Clark's, I think, under the radar, but he's one of the big players for them. Huge athleticism.
He's one of those guys that just does his job. He doesn't necessarily stand out, but he's super important.
Yeah,
Steven Adams is still it will get reevaluated in 4 weeks. He just had a stem cell injection, so that's not
again
looking good.
another huge piece. Yeah.
Morant has no timeline, and I don't know anything about
other small players. Yeah. But I mean, I think for now Tillman's gonna have to hold down the center, but they're lacking bigs, which I think would be interesting come playoff time. So
they like to play fast, but you need a little bit of help.
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry's day to day. He's old. That's why I don't think the Heat are very good. Cody Zeller broke his nose. Nose has been ruled out. Interesting. Milwaukee. Did they get
Dragic? Yeah. It's funny because I thought he was out of the league, and then I was watching a Bucks game the other day, and I saw him on the end of the bench. I'm like, oh, sweet. I actually totally forgot they picked him up.
He's very old.
Yeah. He's not very old. I think he's older, but there are definitely older players than him.
Why is Chris Middleton out? That's this team. So Grayson Allen has a plantar fascia soreness.
Yeah.
And so Chris Middleton, it just says out. There's no comment. Which this team can win without Chris Middleton, but you need... Chris Middleton is the difference maker for me.
Yeah, he's the cherry on top. You need that.
Yeah. Timberwolves have a couple of day-to-day. The big one here is Karl Anthony Towns. The Towns really... you got Austin Rivers, Naz Reid, and Rudy Gobert day-to-day. That's fine, but Cat is the difference maker for this team.
Yeah.
And we mentioned very quickly that he has started one-on-one drills, which is great because we've heard a lot of nothing about him.
Yeah, it's been a lot of radio silence. So.
Pelicans... Rest in peace. New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson's out at the moment for foot. Hopefully it's just a niggle that they're just resting fully.
Yeah, only a couple days because that's a big piece for them.
Washington Jr. Who?
Yeah, role player.
Yep. OKC, obviously you got Chet out. I don't know about the other two. Are they important?
Kevin Williams, just role player. And Pokusevski's out as well, so he's a project.
Philadelphia looking pretty good. McDaniels is out, but was he getting game time? Was he on the bench?
He was definitely bench, but he could probably get some minutes. Decent role player.
Dude, I have the funniest stat.
Do
you know that the 76ers are 16-4 when PJ Tucker doesn't score?
What? Is this the secret weapon? Don't let PJ score and they win?
If he scores, they lose.
Damn, that is a fun stat.
4 for the games that he doesn't score any points.
I mean, he does a lot of things outside of scoring, so it makes sense if he's facilitating and rebounding and defending. But if he's chucking up shots and missing, then I guess, it's not great for them.
I have to see what his win share is when he does score. But
Yeah, it's probably still good, but
I just thought it was really funny that there's 16 and 4 when he doesn't score. And he's one of those guys that always just never shows up properly on the stat sheets.
Yeah, that's a fun stat.
Phoenix are missing KD. Obviously, it all rides on that.
Huge.
Portland, they don't have Jeremy
Grant. Yeah. So that's I think if he was healthy and playing, maybe they can make a bit of a last minute push, but probably not gonna happen.
And Sacramento Kings
just got Holmes out, so they're big, but they'll still be fine.
Looking pretty good.
Yeah.
It's just an illness. So it's just a cold or something. Or San Antonio doesn't matter. Toronto, they got Otto Porter Jr. now.
Yeah.
That guy gets handed around a little bit.
A lot of trades, yeah.
And Utah, Clarkson and Sexton are out.
Yeah.
So that could a little bit trigger happy guys. So we'll have to see.
But I think it's going to be huge if some of these guys can come back from injury for their team. Could be the difference maker. Have to see. It's the countdown. We're almost there. Last dozen games.
Countdown. Please don't copy strike.
It wasn't close enough to the real thing.
What do you mean? I sound just like it.
It was beautiful.
My mom says I sing like an angel.
My gosh. On that note,
thanks for listening. Give us 5 stars, 10 stars. Let us know who you think is going to make it to the finals. We've got about 2 to 3 weeks left. We're very excited. We cannot wait to cover the playoffs.
Stay tuned. It's getting real tight. It's getting juicy.
We out. Bye.
See ya.